Hello everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. So according to numerous sources from the Congressional Budget Office to the Social Security and Medicare Trustees report, the Social Security Trust Fund is going to be insolvent as soon as 2033. We'll be going over why perhaps the program might just be doomed and why on average people are going to be losing around $560 per month. Now, before I dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Okay, so according to Fox News, Social Security cuts could be coming soon. Here's who will be affected. The Social Security program is expected to run dry within a decade as a result of slower economic growth, and today's younger retirees could be among the first in the nation to see benefit cuts. New findings from a Social Security and Medicare Trustees report show the entitlement program faces insolvency as soon as 2033, a year earlier than previously projected. The acceleration towards insolvency is largely a result of a 3% downward revision of gross domestic product and labor productivity over the next decade. Unless major changes are made before 2034 to shore up the trust fund, more than 66 million Americans would see a benefit reduction between about 23 to 25%, the report showed. The combined trust funds will be insolvent by 2034 when today's 56-year-olds reach the full retirement age and today's youngest retirees turn 73, the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget said in a recent analysis. Upon insolvency, all beneficiaries will face a 20% across-the-board benefit cut. And then over the next 75 years, the benefit cuts will become more severe. Social Security recipients will face a 26% across-the-board cut, according to the CRFB. They say, quote, the Social Security program is only 11 years from insolvency, with insolvency of the old age program only a decade away. Action must be taken soon to prevent an across-the-board benefit cut for many current and future beneficiaries. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, who leads the Social Security and Medicare Trustees, emphasized the need to bolster both the Medicare and Social Security funds in a statement on Friday. So obviously this is a very big problem. Right now they're saying either 2032, 2033, or 2034. Now each year this is going to get adjusted. It could either go backwards or it could go even closer to where we are. So next year, for example, it could go up to 2030 or 2031, or maybe it goes back to, let's say, like 2035 once again. Either way, this is not far away. It's around a decade. It could be anywhere between, let's say, like 9 to 12 years, give or take. Again, this is something that definitely needs to be fixed. And since this is such a huge problem, let's go ahead and take a look at what this could mean in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Social Security fact sheet for this year. And as we can see, the average payment for those receiving Social Security retirement benefits is $1,827. Some are making less, some are making more, but we're just going to use the average here for our example. So we can see here once again this Excel sheet that I just made up. So this year, $1,827. And for each year going forward, we're just going to say that the cost of living adjustment is 2%. This is probably going to be more because over the past several years, usually it has been much higher than 2%, but 2% is pretty much sort of like the target for the Federal Reserve as far as inflation goes. We're just going to use the 2% number, even though in most years, this number is actually going to be much higher. So if there is a 2% cost of living adjustment for next year on average, people are going to see a benefit jump of $36 per month. This is going to go up to $1,863. Then in 2025, if once again we see another 2% jump as far as inflation goes in the cost of living adjustment, there's going to be a 37% benefit change up to $1,900. Then over the next few years, we're going to see adjustments up to $1,938, $1,977, and $2,016. That's with another 2% COLA in each of those years. Then in 2029, we're all the way up to $2,069. In 2030, we're up to $2,110. And then $2,152 in 2031. So once again, we are seeing benefit adjustments anywhere between $39 and $53. So things are looking pretty good. Then up to 2032, we're up to $2,195. And then $2,239 in 2033. And then we reach that year in 2034. And this is kind of the year where a lot of people think that the Social Security Trust Fund is going to go insolvent, where at that point there is going to be benefit cuts of up to 25%. So if in 2033 you're receiving $2,239, and then you're facing a benefit cut of 25%, we're going to be going all the way down to $1,679. Now let's scroll back up to the top of the sheet. We can see that in 2023, this year, beneficiaries on average would be receiving right around $1,827. But if we receive a benefit cut of 25% from 2033 to 2034, you're going to be losing $560. That's going to take us down to $1,679, less than what people are receiving this year. So obviously, this is a very, very big problem. Now, let's take a look at a couple of different charts that I found pretty interesting. So the first one shows that Social Security will run a cumulative cash deficit of $2.9 trillion between now and 2035. So this is from the Peter G. Peterson Foundation. And you can see here that back in the 70s and 80s, we were also running a deficit. And then finally, we were running a surplus from around the late 80s all the way up to kind of like the early 2000s. And then really since the early 2000s, once again, we have been running a deficit and nothing has really been done. And it's really only going to get more severe between, let's say, like 2020 and the mid 2030s. So that's a chart that pretty well illustrates how the Social Security Trust Fund is being run right now with the cash deficits. Then in our second chart, we can see why we have this problem. So as the population ages, fewer workers have been and will be paying taxes to support each person receiving these benefits. So once again, this is from the Peter G. Peterson Foundation. You can see back in 1970, there was 3.7 workers paying into the system for every person receiving the benefits. In 1990, that reduced down to 3.4. In 2010, reduced down to 2.9. And then in 2030, that's projected to go down to 2.4. So now there's fewer people paying into the system when compared to the people receiving the benefits. People aren't having as many kids as they used to, so obviously there are fewer workers. Workers ratio paying into the system compared to people receiving the benefits in Social Security. So obviously that's going to be another big problem as well. And obviously this problem is not going to fix itself. So, okay, we need to come up with some sort of solution. So we really have two different options here. We can make sure that there's more money coming into the Social Security Trust Fund to pay out the benefits in full, or we can make sure that there's less money going out of the trust fund so we keep more money in the trust fund to make sure that people receive these benefits in full. So the first solution, what we can do if we want more money coming into the trust fund, obviously we can raise taxes. And as far as the second solution goes, if we want less money going out of the trust fund, then we have to raise the full retirement age or make it so people who receive the most benefits receive some sort of benefit cut. So we have sort of our two solutions there, and Democrats in large part have been for raising taxes on Americans who earn above $250,000 per year. So that would be the solution as far as getting more money into the Social Security Trust Fund. Now, Republicans, on the other hand, have been advocating for raising the full retirement age, and that would ensure that Americans would have to wait longer to receive these retirement benefits, and therefore less money would come out of the Social Security Trust Fund. Now, at the end of the day, obviously something needs to be bipartisan to get something done, because if nothing gets done at all, again, you saw that Excel sheet that I just showed on the screen about a few minutes ago, there's going to be a benefit cut of right around $560 on average, and that could actually be even more than that amount, and you're going to be receiving less in 2034 than what you are this year if that happens to be the case. But that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope that you enjoyed. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.